We all have some of the same questions when we become teachers. What is my role? What am I doing here? What can I do for others? And for me, this is a story about the journey of how I found that answer. My journey started in teaching with a position at Palomar High School, an alternative high school. It was an opportunity. My opportunity was to work with students who either others had given up on, or who had given up on themselves, and help them toward an education goal they thought once unattainable: high school graduation. Who were these students? High school dropouts, under 19 years of age, trying to pass the Casey, living in the South Bay. Is this all there was to these students? I was questioned by my peers, my supervisors, and my family. Are you sure this is something you want to undertake? For some reason, I was sure. I wanted to work with these students labeled at risk, special needs, and alternative. I set out to discover who these students really were. Why were they here? How did they end up here? And what more was there to their story? Right away, these students reminded me of the young Marines I encountered in my previous career as a Marine Corps officer. I had the opportunity to work with many young Marines who found their identity in service and by being a part of something greater than themselves. There were those that needed more leadership and guidance than others, and it was in this mentorship role that I found a true sense of purpose and an ability to make a difference in the lives of others. These students also reminded me of the volunteer work I do with rescue dogs via the barking lot. Taking part in efforts to save the lives of dogs who would have otherwise been killed in shelters because no one wanted them gives me an amazing sense of purpose. Though I advocate for all rescue animals, I have a special spot for showcasing the so-called bully breeds in a truthful light to counter the common media portrayal of these dogs. Through my photographs and rescue efforts, I want to send the message that these so-called vicious animals are loving, affectionate, loyal to their families, and some of the happiest, and some of the goofiest dogs you will find. How can I use these personal and professional experiences with a group of students labeled challenging? Amazingly, I found a theme that linked my Marines, rescue dogs, and my new students together. They were all viewed as underdogs. As luck would have it, there was a role that I was experienced in and comfortable with that I could now use in my role as a teacher, advocating for perceived underdogs. I discovered that the purpose of teaching is helping students find their voice and their own measures of success, helping them realize what accomplishment is, large and small, and providing them opportunities that aids them in finding this. In the end, I was not doing anything for these perceived underdogs. I was just a mechanism that allowed them to advocate for themselves. I found that in my early teaching experiences, as it was with my time as an officer and an animal advocate, my purpose was not to do things for others, but enable them to do it for themselves. And this message from a student completely justified what I feel my purpose in teaching is: giving students their voice. I am humbled, yet always inspired by this profession of teaching, and I always hope that I will continue to find my purpose in my students and helping them become what they have the potential to be.